How we doing, everybody, and welcome in to Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage. It is Friday, June 7th. It's the weather supposed to be turning around, right? Supposed to be able to turn around a little bit here before they're talking more rain moving in over the weekend here. It doesn't seem like the rain's going to go away. I'll be honest with you. It seems like it's just going to rain on and off every other day, and we're just going to have to live with it, right? We're just going to have to live with it. I mean, just a disaster. Can't get some dry periods. It's crazy, going around with my job to a lot of these farms and talking to a lot of the farmers, and they're like, we don't really know what to do at this point, right? Because, I mean, you look at this so far, heading into, now we're in June, it's been on and off rain all the time, can't get in the fields. Then you're talking the winter's supposed to be harsh. When does the winter actually pick up? I'm not sure. I'm not that in tune. I just know a little bit about the Farmer's Almanac, not the whole thing. But I know that it's supposed to be brutal this next winter here. So when does it come? When does it come around? When does this rain stop? Is there going to be a grace period in between? I don't know. But right now, man, oh man, if we could miss some rain for a couple days, it would be A-okay. It would definitely be A-okay. And what the Packers and Eagles, just going off of that, some Packers news coming out of that matchup with the Eagles down in Brazil, they might have to be missing some green on their jerseys. That is the big topic right now. Josh Jacobs, they actually were talking to Josh Jacobs on a podcast there, and he said that the NFL told Packers and Eagles not to wear green in the Brazil game. It has to do with gangs down there in Brazil. I was like, why did they hate the color green? Isn't their flag green? Like, what? I was right away when I read it. I was like, what? I mean, are we not supposed to match the flag? What's going on? But apparently it has to do with gangs down there. And from what I've heard, and this is all off of what Josh Jacobs had to say, so we don't know how it's actually going to transpire. But we heard, I heard armored vehicles to transport the players around, and I mean, stay in your hotel the whole time, don't go out, whatever, Why are we going down there? Just truth be told, I mean, if it's money, is it really worth this, crapola that we are now putting these players through? Like, you can't leave your hotel. You have to travel in armored vehicles. How would you feel you're just a foreigner, right? In this country here in Brazil, you're an outside cat, right? And you're stepping on the turf of the inside cats. So, armored vehicles to drive you around, no wearing green, playing a football game. They're both green. Both teams are predominantly green. That's their jersey schemes. That's what they wear. So, I don't get it. The NFL, if I was them, I'd say, okay, let's move this game back to America, right? Let's not have to drive Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers around in an armored vehicle. Let's get them into, let's just say, Philadelphia. We'll play in Philly week 1. Maybe we'll go to Mexico City. I don't know. But maybe, just maybe, we rethink if this is true, what we're hearing out of this from Josh Jacobs, maybe, just maybe, we reconsider this, because this seems like it could go fine, right? It could go fine. Or it could be an epic disaster. One of the worst disasters we've ever seen, right? And I don't know, for me, if I was a player on that team, that's just another distraction, right? That's a distraction from the football game. So will you get both teams at their best? I don't know about that one, right? You're traveling down to Brazil, and then you're traveling in armored vehicles. You can't wear green. You can't do this. You can't do that. Lots of can'ts, but not a lot of do's. You can go down there and play football. You can practice. You can play football. That's it. That's all you can do. They're going to transport you by armored vehicle. That's about it. It just seems like the amount of distraction and everything else and danger from this, if like I said, speculation, but if it comes to be true, the amount of crap that we're hearing out of this, is it worth it? Is it really worth it to put your citizens, basically, right? They're citizens of the United States, putting them in danger, traveling them down there. Is that worth it? I don't know. I don't know if all of it's true, if only some of it's true, if none of it's true, whatever it is. But I saw I saw multiple posts now with talking about the not wearing green and everything like that. And man, oh man, that just seems like disaster waiting to happen. That just seems like it's a disaster, and you wouldn't really want a part of it. You wouldn't want to be in that situation or anything like that. So, I mean, just a little tidbit Packers news off the top there. Just, I mean, some craziness. That's all you can. That's all you can say out of that is some definite craziness coming out of the Green Bay Packers there. So, with that, off of the Packers, I want to get into a little bit of Brewers. I want to preview the weekend series with the Tigers, look at the Tigers, see how, they're kind of faring this season stat-wise, how the two teams compare in that like, and also look at the pitching matchups there and just kind of see what we're going to see here over this upcoming weekend. You never know what to expect, right? But we can look at the stats and say, hey, this guy's hot, this guy's not, maybe pitch to this guy. I don't know. Maybe we will find an arm by the weekend. I don't know who's going to pitch, but somebody will, right? Somebody is going to be out there on the mound this weekend. It is just a matter of who at this point. So, looking at this Detroit Tigers team, I want to look at the Tigers first. They're 30-30 overall right now. They have a plus run differential at the moment, heading into this series with the Brewers, 31-31. On the year. Looking at the stats for him, I mean, Matt Vierling is leading them right now. He is their third baseman. He's hitting .281 as of right now. Riley Green, 11 home runs. Gary Carpenter's got 29 RBIs. Mark Canna, remember Mark Canna from last season there? He's at an on-base percentage of .346, and Riley Green actually leads the team in hits right now. He's batting .244 right now for the Detroit Tigers. So, looking at this Tigers team, I mean, overall, it's not like it's a bad lineup, right? You have Riley Green in there. You have Mark Canna. Matt Vierling is sitting in there right now. Like I said, hitting that .281 clip at the moment. Gary Carpenter's batting .283 for him. Gio Urshela, he's hitting .270 for this Tigers team. All around, I mean, not a terrible lineup, some solid bats mixed into there. Looking at the starting pitching staff for him, we did see Kenta Maeda go down earlier on this season here. But looking at the starters the Brewers will have to face. In game one, they're going to see Reese Olson. On the year, 11 starts for him. For Reese there. He's had 5 quality starts, 61 innings pitched, 46 hits given up there, 52 strikeouts for him on the season. He's got a 2.48 ERA there. Does Olson. He's 1-6 overall. A lot of that has to do with not a lot of run production behind him there. Casey Mize is going to be the next pitcher. He will face off with the Brewers on Saturday there. He's got a 4.70 ERA right now in 53 innings. 4 quality starts, 11 starts for him on the year. Has struggled a little bit, right? As we can see there, he has struggled. Looking at his last couple outings there in 4 innings against the Red Sox, he had 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 runs in total, 4 strikeouts there. Toronto, 4 1/3 inning, 3 earned runs there, 8 hits, and 2 walks. No strikeouts in that one. And then against Kansas City, an inning and 2/3, 9 hits, 6 earned runs. This is a guy that, I mean, looking at his latest matchups there, guys have been jumping all over him. Guys have been jumping on him. And, I mean, you see that from the last 3 starts he's had. He hasn't made it past 4 1/3 inning. I mean, you're talking about Kansas City, Toronto, and Boston, all with offenses pretty similar to the Milwaukee Brewers. Not overpowering, but they have some good pop in there. They have some good contact hitters, some speed mixed into there. We've seen Boston already. We know that. The Brewers are very equal to looking at a Boston team. So, I mean, you just look at these last couple outings for him, and this is a game the Brewers, you got to jump on Mize early there, and you got to take care of business against him and not let him have any wiggle room out there on the mound. Outside of that, on Sunday, we will see a little bit of Tarek Skubal out there for the Detroit Tigers. 12 starts, 9 quality starts, 73 innings. He's got a 1.97 ERA. He's just got a 7-1 record right now. 16 earned runs on the year, 51 hits, 86 strikeouts for him. He has been pitching very well for this Detroit Tigers team. I mean, you look at the starting pitching staff for the Tigers. They got some decent names in there, right? But not good production is what we're seeing. Kenta Maeda, Jack Flaherty, Skubal is in there. And then, I mean, Reese Olson, a little bit younger, and Mize in there too. But some pretty good ERAs mixed in there too between Skubal and Flaherty, along with Olson. The Brewers, they will not see Flaherty in this series here, but they're going to face some decent pitching. I mean, looking at Olson there and then also Skubal, I mean, you're going to see some decent pitching along the lines for the Tigers there. So how does this Brewers team bounce back after a series against the Phillies where you scored 2 runs in total? Now you travel to Detroit. You're going to face some decent pitching. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how this Brewers team fares against a pretty good, it's like a, trying to think of how to say though with the Tigers, what to say. You know, they're not a great team, they're not an overpowering team, they're not like the Phillies, right? They're not like the Phillies, but this is a solid team, and they're a team that if you blink, you could be down a couple runs to them. I mean, that's just plain and simple how it is. Trying to look up where they rank within baseball right now in statistical categories. I mean, you look at this team right now. Right there. Got it. Right now, I mean, you look at them across the league, they're ranked 22nd in batting average, 22nd in home runs. Right now, they're 28th in stolen bases, don't steal a lot of bases, and earned run average 11th. So, I mean, you look at the pitching, that's probably, you look at it, that's their strong suit right now. They got 31 wins for the pitching staff. That's tied for 12th right now in the league. I mean, they're not a... You want to say that they're not a terrible team, but they're not a good team, right? They're middle of the pack. They're a rebuilding team. This is a team that the Brewers, they definitely need to take advantage of here over this next 3-game set. That is 100%. I mean, there's no other way around it. This is a team that the Brewers need to take care of before they come back home. And, you come back home then after the Tigers, you have Toronto, then you have the Reds again. That's, I mean, not the Toronto Blue Jays not sitting great. Neither are the Reds, but 2 teams that, I mean, just like the Tigers, you give them a little bit of an opening, that could cost you. And then you have after the Reds, you have about 12 games there, 12, 13 game stretch with no off days between the Reds, Angels, San Diego Padres, and then the Rangers come to town to take on the Brewers, followed by the Cubbies there. You get a little off day in there, but followed by the Cubbies. I mean, you got a long stretch of games after this Tigers and Toronto series. You got to be able to pull off this series here against the Tigers. This is a big series for the Brewers to get everything back on track before coming back home and then starting that big, 13-game streak of a game every single day. So, Tigers, this is a pretty good ball club. This is a pretty good ball club that the Tigers are going to be rolling out there in this one. I mean, looking at the Brewers, like I said, we're not really sure who's going to be starting for the Brewers in this upcoming season, or in this upcoming series here against the Tigers. I was just trying to see if they had any even probables out there right now. But right now, it doesn't really look like we're seeing much out of them as of late here. It looks like, according to what I can see, and this is still uncertain, Robert Gasser might be on the mound for this one. It did show that his recent little injury, he's not slotted to start. No, that's not. He's on the. I'm just looking around here trying to see probables, and it said Robert Gasser, but that is not right because Robert Gasser is on the IL right now. So I don't know. I don't know who's going to get to start for the Brewers in this one. If it's going to be a minor leaguer, I've heard a lot of things. I heard Pat Murphy in a press conference. His exact quote was, he said, and I quote, "If you're in the organization right now and you're healthy and you're throwing it forward, you are being considered. If you throw good from the outfield one day, you might be considered too." That's utterly terrifying. That's like we are now fishing at the bottom of the barrel for guys right now. And that's not to say that the Brewers don't have some decent prospects who could potentially come up. I mean, you have Carlos Rodriguez down there at the AAA level who is pitching better as of late here. Has he been fantastic this season in a whole? No, he started out really slow down there at the AAA level. But, I mean, that could be a potential guy. Chad Patrick could be a potential guy. But to hear Pat Murphy say that really screams to me that the Brewers need to make a move. I mean, how long can you wait? How long can you honestly wait to make a move here? And it's not the factor that the starting pitching has been the utmost problem. I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm saying that we have starting pitchers going down left and right, and we got to add in something. We got to bring up somebody just to give a spot start, and hopefully it's a good one, right? Because right now you have Freddie Peralta and Aaron Ashby. You have Bryce Wilson and Colin Ray. After that, we don't know who the fifth starter is right now. You have Jacob Junis slowly making his way back, right? Robert Gasser just hit the IL. We don't know when D.L. Hall is going to be back. So, I mean, you look at the starting rotation, you say to yourself, I mean, honestly, where do you absolutely need to add? And a lot of people out there, well, we should get Pete Alonso. I think adding Pete Alonso would be the big kicker for this team. Shut up. No, there's no reason. There's no reason for Pete Alonso. Why? Explain to me why. You add in Pete Alonso. Great. Okay, so you're going to put him at DH then? Okay, that's fine. What about, those days where you're like, maybe when Garrett Mitchell comes back, maybe I want to have an outfield of Mitchell and Frelick and Perkins today, right? Give Yelich a day off in the outfield, but I want to keep his bat in. Now he's in the DH role. What do you do with Pete Alonso? You're going to waste away the rest of his time, right? We're going to waste away the rest of his time. Rhys Hoskins. They both bat from the right side. They both bat for power. Am I saying that if you got Pete Alonso for free and in a perfect world where you didn't have other guys who need to be in the DH role every once in a while, that wouldn't be an option? No, I'm not even in the slightest. That would be a definite option. But what I'm saying is that the way that the Brewers are constructed right now, the needs that they have, the dumbest thing they could do is add Pete Alonso. Waste prospects to add Pete Alonso. That's the dumbest thing. Add a starting pitcher. Add a bullpen guy. Right? There's two spots the Brewers have consistently struggled with this year, outside of hitting with runners in scoring position, because that's a big one, right? That's a major one for this Brewers team. But I truthfully do believe the offense, the way that it's constructed, they just need to find something. But, I mean, I think they can find that in-house. You have guys coming back. You have guys who have been struggling a little bit here as of late. I mean, when William Contreras was hot, the rest of the lineup was cooling off. And then all of a sudden, Contreras cools off and everybody else gets hot. Well, if you get everything flowing, I really truthfully believe the Brewers' offense is fine. I look at the pitching staff and I say, can I win pitching duels, right? I'm not saying that the Brewers starters pitched bad in Philadelphia. They didn't. I mean, Bryce Wilson, 3 earned runs. And then you had Colin Ray, 0 earned runs. You had, in that last game of the series there, you had kind of a mixed bag there, I guess you could say. Aaron Ashby didn't pitch bad at all. I didn't think Aaron Ashby pitched bad at all in his outing. And outside of that, I mean, the bullpen wasn't bad for the Brewers. They gave up, 7 runs in total to the Phillies over the weekend? The offense is what struggled. But can the Brewers win a pitching duel? Can I, if I have a game where, because you're going to have games like that, Zach Wheeler's on, or you face a guy like Imanaga again, and he's on, right? Do you have a guy in that rotation who you know can go toe-to-toe with that guy? right? Can go toe-to-toe with him, shut down the opposing lineup, and give the Brewers a shot in a 1-0 game. Or in a 0-0 game, give the Brewers chances to come up to bat and take the lead. Do you have that pitcher in your rotation right now? I don't think so. Freddie is a solid pitcher, but I don't believe he's a number one. I never have. I have never seen Freddie Peralta as a number one in the rotation. I have seen him as a number two, but I've never seen him as a number one. He's not that dominant, I'm going to shut you down ace in a rotation. He can have games like that, but he's not going to be that guy for you. I just don't believe it. I haven't seen it yet. Corbin Burnes was that guy. Brandon Woodruff could be that guy. I truthfully believe that Brandon Woodruff or Corbin Burnes could have been considered the ace of the staff at points. I thought Brandon Woodruff has been fantastic in moments like that. And Freddie Peralta, he is a fantastic pitcher, but he's the number 2 or 3 in your rotation. He's not the guy who's going to give you, if you need to win a 1-0 ball game, I don't believe he's the guy for it. I don't. Not consistently. Not consistently. He has an inning, it seems like, every game where he is going to give up a run or two. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. He throws a bad pitch here or there. It happens. I'm not saying Freddie Peralta is a bad pitcher by any means. So don't think of it as that. Think of it as, well, Burnes, there's a spectrum, right? There's a spectrum of ace pitchers and secondary pitchers, thirds, fourth, and fifths. And it gets down to the 6th range, right? Guys who are spotty starters, right? Freddie Peralta fits in the 2 to 3 range. That's just where it is. You look at the top, you got guys like Ranger Suarez right now, and Garrett Cole, Luis Gil from the Yankees. There are a lot of guys from the Yankees, right? They have been pitching fantastic. Imanaga, outside of what we saw in that Brewers game, has pitched very well this season. So, just look at your aces, and then you get down to a difference here. And the Brewers are relying on a lot of second to third to fourth, and some fifth-tier guys pitching in the third spot in the rotation to try and pick up big wins for them. And so far, they've done a fantastic job. I'm not going to say that the starting pitching hasn't done well for what they truthfully do have. But what I'm saying is that if we're going to be talking about adding pieces and trading away prospects to get those pieces, you got to be looking at the starting rotation. You have to. You have to be able to look at the starting rotation and say, well, we need a guy. I don't know if it's signing a free agent, if it's making a trade, if it's bringing up guys out of the minors left and right and just praying that somebody sticks, right? Hopefully, watching Aaron Ashby pitch this last time out, hopefully that instills some confidence in him. That maybe, just maybe, he could be the guy that we thought we were signing, right? He's struggled to get to that point so far, but hopefully, with maybe that last outing, we're starting to see a glimpse of what Aaron Ashby could be down the road. Freddie Peralta, we already talked about him. Gasser, I believe, could be good, but Gasser's on the IL. Junis is a solid number 3. So is Colin Ray's a 3 to 4 in your rotation. They all pitch fine. I'm not saying that this Brewers team couldn't figure something out with what they have. What I'm saying is, you want to make a trade right now, you got to be looking at the starting pitching staff for the Brewers. That is the utmost biggest need the Brewers have. I'm going to tell you that now. I understand everybody who says, well, you got to be looking at the start the lineup too, right? You got to be looking at the lineup. They don't have enough pop. They don't have enough consistent hitting with runners in the scoring position. 1,000% I agree with you, right? But you could bring in, you bring in Pete Alonso. With that massive average that Pete Alonso has right now, you think he's going to be a big RBI, going to get a hit for you in with runners in scoring position and be that consistent bat that you need? No. I'm sorry to burst anyone's bubble who I'm bursting right now, but no. And I will argue that tooth and nail. He is not the guy to do that. What is he? Looking at his average, 238 right now. 14 home runs, 31 RBIs, 1 stolen base. I don't know why I had to mention the 1 stolen base. I just saw it across the stat line there. Is this the guy that's going to fix it? No. I have Gary Sanchez. Gary Sanchez is doing just fine for me in the role that you want Pete Alonso to fill. He's doing just fine. So what's the point of that? What's the point of the Pete Alonso? I think that's a stupid idea. I really do. I thought it was a stupid idea the last time they said something about it. I think it's even stupider now. I really do. Don't see the role for him. Unless if somebody goes down with an injury, barring like Rhys Hoskins or Jake Bowers, and still then, I don't know if I'd make the deal for Alonso. You're getting a rental. I get that Hoskins might be a rental already because he has that option there where he can just walk out the door after this year, but Pete Alonso is a definite rental. You got him for half a season if you do. Is it worth it? Is it worth trading away some of your better prospects to grab Pete Alonso? No, not at all. Now, if you touched base with the White Sox or the Marlins or the Oakland A's, maybe a team like the Red Sox, you could look around the board and you could say, like, these teams are mathematically falling off a cliff right now, and maybe they're open for business already. You call them up, maybe, you find a starting pitcher who is under control for a little bit, pitching solid, add them in, right? That's the way I'm going with it. Right now, that's the Brewers' biggest need. And if you want to argue offense, like I said, I can see the angle of saying that the offense needs some help. They need a big bat. They need a consistent bat. But who are you going to trade for? I truthfully don't want a Pete Alonso, right? If he gives me 40 home runs, okay, fantastic. But the combo of Gary Sanchez, Rhys Hoskins, I believe they could hit for over 40 home runs, I would think, right? I think that fills that void. I need guys who are going to hit with average. Guys who are going to be able to put the ball in play with the bases loaded and one out and be able to drive in runs. That's what we need in Milwaukee. We don't need the drama, right? Pete Alonso brings a lot of drama. We don't need that crap. You guys are all out there telling me we don't need Trevor Bauer because Trevor Bauer messes with the culture, messes with the locker room, messes with this, messes with that. I'm sorry, but the Polar Bear Express is the exact same thing. I thought Josh Donaldson was going to be bad. Apparently he wasn't as bad as I thought. Pete Alonso's a hothead. Add him into that dugout, see what happens. I don't see it ending well. I really don't. I don't. I was there for the Trevor Bauer. I'm all in on the Trevor Bauer still, that if the Brewers desperately need a starting pitcher, which they do, they should move on him. If you can't handle that Trevor Bauer might be a nuisance in the clubhouse and everything like that, you can't handle Pete Alonso. He is just as bad in the clubhouse, and maybe even worse. So, I've seen a lot of comments on that whole statistical, the Brewers should trade for this, the Brewers should trade for that, everything else, due to this statistic and everything else. It's like, okay, let's just look at where we're at. We're still currently in first place in the division, but let's look at our biggest need, starting pitching. Let's just seriously dial in on it and see what our biggest need is, because I'm telling you right now, the lineup is fine. Is it great? Probably not. It's solid, right? We're up at the top in all of baseball and average. We're up at the top in RBIs and runs and everything else. We're up near the top. But for some reason, people still think we need way more offense. I'm telling you, if you're going to burn up prospects, the pitching staff is where you got to be with it. So, Brewers and Tigers, though, getting back to that is going to be a fantastic series. I really do believe this is going to be a big bounce-back series for the Brewers. Get the offense going, get the pitching staff right, and, hopefully we figure out some starters here pretty soon of who's going to be starting in this upcoming series. But with that, I want to mention some sponsors of the show here quick before we move on. First, Game Day Supply in Alaska. Do you have a sports club or team? Are you looking for some sweet custom uniforms or apparel? Check out the awesome crew at Game Day Supply in Alaska to help your team get the sweetest gear. Find them on Facebook at Game Day Supply or online at GameDaySupply.net. Also, your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty, Call Peggy, Sue, or Anna to find your dream home, or if you're looking to sell. Find them on Facebook at your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty, or stop in and see them at their location in Marshfield. Also, Marshfield Motor Speedways, located just 3 miles outside of Marshfield on County Road H. You got to get down there this summer. Tons of family fun for all ages. Great food, great drinks, great atmosphere. Nothing better for a great summer day/night. Get down on the track, Marshfield Motor Speedways in Marshfield, Wisconsin there. Sports Scene, sports cards, and memorabilia, located in the Marshfield Mall in Marshfield, Wisconsin. You got to get down there. Al has everything you need, from sporting cars to memorabilia, jerseys, model stock cars. He's got it all. Sports Scene in Marshfield. Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. If you've been injured recently, whether it was pushing the lawnmower, weed whacking, whatever it was, and you felt something pop, you felt something just feel like it's tearing, and you need some physical therapy, you stop in there and see Chad at Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. He will get you right. He'll get you back weed whacking, back mowing the lawn, whatever you were doing. He'll get you back there and feeling better. Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. And also Pittsville Farm and Home Center. At the store, they serve you anything from hydraulic hoses to red roses. Stop in and see the awesome crew at Pittsville Farm and Home Center in Pittsville, Wisconsin there. But with that, I want to touch base into the Fresh on the Farm report. A little Fresh on the Farm down there at the Nashville Sound. See how we're hitting down there as of late. So right now, looking at team average down there at triple A level. And I mean, right now, Brewer Hicklin is still playing very well. 284 average on the season for him there, 11 doubles, 46 hits. He's got 28 walks, 52 strikeouts, 19 stolen bases, 36 RBIs, 11 home runs. You guys are talking about offense out there. This guy's providing it down the AAA level. Maybe he's a possible guy we could see at the big league level at some point. Isaac Collins, left fielder down there. He's hitting 283 with 53 hits on the year, 16 doubles, 34 walks to 38 strikeouts, 9 stolen bases, 36 RBIs for him. Tyler Black still hitting down there, 284 right now, 52 hits, 9 home runs for Tyler Black, 39 RBIs, 25 walks to 29 strikeouts. He's got that great eye, 10 stolen bases down there at the AAA level. Eric Hayes continues to hit down there, 246 average for him. Outside of that, we're seeing guys who are kind of moving up and in between the Brewers and back down. Francisco Mejia, a signing of the Brewers. They signed him a little bit there in early season. He's currently hitting 235 down there. Catcher for him at the AAA level. So that's about it hitting-wise for the Nashville Sounds down there as of right now. Looking at the pitching, Carlos F. Rodriguez currently in 11 starts. He's got a 5.17 ERA, 62 innings pitched, and 66 strikeouts. But the big thing you got to look at with Carlos F. Rodriguez is his last outings that he has had. I mean, we're looking at a guy who has struggled, right? Who has struggled over the early season stretch, but as of late here, the games have been getting a little bit better for him here. Last time out, he had 5 1/3 against Louisville, 1 earned run, 1 hit, and that was it across the stat line, 7 strikeouts. Game before that against Memphis, he had 2 earned runs, 6 2/3 innings there, and that was it, 4 strikeouts. Before that, I mean, you're talking about a guy 6 innings, 3 runs, 2 earned runs there against Clintonville. And then, I mean, against Jacksonville there, he had 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs. 2 outings before that, a run apiece there. One of them was against that big Norfolk team there, the Orioles AAA team. So, I mean, Carlos Rodriguez has been looking better as of late here. So that's why I talk about him as that potential guy to see a big league call-up at some points here over the next little stretch. Otherwise, outside of that, Chad Patrick has been fantastic. 5-1 with a 2.87 ERA, 9 starts for him, 53 innings. He has 52 strikeouts in those innings there, 3 home runs given up and 17 earned runs on the year. That could be another solid call-up for the Brewers. Outside of that, I mean, we've talked about a couple of these guys before, but Jansen Junk, 3.75 ERA down there. Tobias Myers, 1.45. Outside of that, not a whole lot happening bullpen-wise. Taylor Clark in 1-0 with a 1.93 ERA in 4 starts down there. That's a guy the Brewers have been waiting on also. Taylor Clark, Jacob Junis, some of the other guys that the Brewers have been waiting on to potentially see back up at the big league level at some point here. Looking at his last game out there for Jacob Junis, I believe he is on his rehab assignment right now. He did pitch. He started a game for Nashville against Louisville. 2 innings pitched there. 0 earned runs, 0 hits, 3 strikeouts for him. Good stuff there out of Junis in his rehab assignment. So Brewers slowly but surely, I mean, they could potentially see some of these starters making their way back here pretty soon. Looking at another guy, Taylor Clark, another guy I just mentioned there. He's another piece that the Brewers added in the offseason and are slowly waiting on. Last time out against Memphis, he had 1 start there, 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 home run given up there, or 1 hit by pitch given up there, and 4 strikeouts, 0 earned runs across the game for him. I mean, a solid outing out of Clark. So 2 guys, Clark and Junis, slowly working their way back. Could potentially see them implemented into the Brewers starting rotation at some point there. So with that, getting off the sounds, that was a great overview of the sounds there. I want to get into the Biloxi Shuckers here, see how they're faring down there right now. Leading the team in average at the moment, Carlos D. Rodriguez. He's hitting .293 down there at the AA level. Good stuff out of Carlos Rodriguez. Outside of that, we see Noah Campbell hitting .258 down there, and Ernesto Martinez .256. Mike Bovey continues to hit the cover of the baseball. .314 average down there, 49 hits, 1 home run, 14 RBIs, 30 strikeouts to 14 walks. Mike Bovey continues to hit at every level he goes to. So that is fantastic stuff to see down there. Brock Wilkins slowly working his way back from that injury. He's got a .220 average down there. So just a little tidbit there. Just a little tidbit of some of the guys who are hitting well at the AA level. Looking at the starting pitching staff, Jacob Mizorowski, one of the Brewers' top prospects, 2.98 ERA, 11 starts. He's got 42 innings pitched, 29 hits, 59 strikeouts for Mizorowski. TJ Shuck has that 59 strikeout level too, but he's got that 5.28 ERA for him there. So not good in that department. Shane Smith has been pitching fantastic as of late, though, for this team down there. We did see him take some awards home there for minor league pitchers. 4 starts for him, 3.74 ERA, 48 strikeouts, and 33 innings. Good stuff there out of Shane Smith. Tyler Wosener with that 2.66 ERA for him there. 4 starts, 20 innings, 29 strikeouts. Good stuff there all the way around. Good stuff all the way around from the from the Biloxi Shuckers bullpen there as of late. Looking at the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, getting down there to Appleton, seeing some of them guys. Right now, average-wise, we see Yadier Arminio hitting .295 down there. Gregory Barrows, shortstop, he's hitting .310 for the Timber Rattlers. And I always, when I look through these stats, I always see Mike Bovey's .553 he had down there in 38 at-bats. I mean, that's just crazy. 38 at-bats, 21 hits. He just basically said, this crap's too easy. He hit the cover off the ball, goes up to AA, he's still hitting .310. Dude's all the way around impressive. And now he's playing a little bit of first base, so maybe grooming him up, getting him ready for first base, a first baseman of the future in Mike Bovey, and then you have Brock Wilken coming up the back door too for a little bit of third base. Tyler Black sprinkled in there. This is a pretty good sign for the Brewers for the future there. Outside of that, haven't seen a lot happening for the AA or for the high A level there. Luis Lara is hitting .260 down there. Another top prospect for the Brewers, hitting pretty well down there at the high A level. Looking at the pitching staff down there, we see a little bit of everything, a little bit of spread out. Craig Yoho, in 16 games, he's got a .44 ERA. In 20 innings pitched, he's got 37 strikeouts. Outside of that, the pitching kind of struggles all the way around down there. I mean, I'm looking around right now, not seeing a lot of impressive stuff. Brett Wicharowski has got a 2.45 ERA in 4 starts, 14 innings, and 21 strikeouts. So solid stuff for him down there at the high A level right now. Some good stuff working all the way around. But, I mean, we've seen some struggles. We've seen some struggles there out of some of these guys here. So looking at, I was just checking out another one here, but I'm not seeing what I was looking for. I lost it. I gotta hate when you lose connection to your device and then you're just searching upon searching upon searching. So, I mean, that's all I got for the high A level. Getting down to the single A level, the Carolina Mudcats there, looking at the hitting going on down at the high A or the single A level. We have Juan Baez. He's hitting .295 for him down there. He's got 1 home run and 23 RBIs, 12 walks to 12 stolen bases, a perfect ratio there out of Jose Acosta in 20 at-bats. He's got 6 hits. He's hitting .300 down at that level. Filippo Di Turi. That is a heck of a name. He's got 0 average, but I just had to say his name once because holy crap, that is a weird name. Yashuar Garcia. I can still never say. I call him Yoshi. He's got a .321 average down there yet, so he's been hitting the cover off the baseball for a majority of the season here. So the Mudcats, some decent success there at the plate here as of late. Looking at the pitching staff down there, not a whole lot to toot your horn about. I mean, Casey Hunt, 1.42 ERA in 19 innings. He's got 32 strikeouts for KC. Outside of that, not a whole lot of crazy good happening there. Wanyar Herrera has got a 2.12 ERA right now in 4 games, 17 innings, 27 strikeouts for him. Baden Root has got a 2.29 ERA there. 15 games, 19 innings pitched. He's got 28 strikeouts on the season here. So some good stuff all the way around there from the Brewers minor league. Some of the better hitters right now, better hitters and pitchers that are going on at this moment here. Outside of that, I mean, outside of baseball, we saw the NBA Finals Game 1. We saw the Mavs just completely get obliterated by the Boston Celtics. Made it close, right? Made it close near the end in that third quarter, but the Celtics just buried them after that. Got it down to 8 or 9, and the Celtics just went on a burner, got it back out to 22, and after that, the game was over. So, I mean, Boston, Mavs, that series will continue throughout the weekend here, and then it'll carry into next week. I mean, I was cheering for the Mavs. I did pick the Mavs, but after seeing Game 1, I just don't know if the Mavs have enough to play with the Celtics. That is a very good, well put together team that I don't even think they could screw it up. I really don't think they could screw it up, but I'm still rooting for the Mavs. I'm still rooting for Luka and Kyrie to somehow figure it out, make this series go 7. I'm sick of watching 4-game series. I want to see some interesting stuff come out of a series. So I'd be okay with seeing a 7-game series here out of these two teams here. But with that, that's about all I got for today. I mean, the Brewers, they got the Tigers coming up this weekend. Lots of good stuff happening there. I mean, we have, like I said, the NBA Finals will be in action over the weekend. Tons of great sports still happening out there right now. So with that, that's about all I got for today. Talked about a lot. Brewers, Packers, everything in between. Hopefully the Packers don't get caught wearing green in Brazil. But with that, this has been Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trade. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday and your weekend. Until I catch you guys back here on Monday, deuces.
Yeah, oh my Lord, watch me sway. Darkness falls and we all pray. hoping for the light of day. Down to the river, I have held the devil's hand, felt the weight of my own sin, burdened by the heart of man. Down to the river, down to the river.